Hi, this is Catapult for Catapult Gaming, and in this episode, I show you how to get the gold medal for wheat farming. So wheat farming is definitely one of the least competitive crops. It's available everywhere. People start farming in as early as level 0. It's available right in the hub, so it's usually a great crop to start off with, and probably the easiest to get a gold medal in. So as you can see here, I'm a bit overkill in my setup, not by a giant margin, but this one here, I needed 96k to get a gold medal. I got 120k. Previous one I did here needed 76k. I did 123k. Here I needed 64k only. As I mentioned, this is really not a competitive crop, and I got 124k. And if we go upstairs at Anita here, we'll see that in terms of extra farming drops, I'm up to plus 18% from these upgrades here. There's still a long way to go that I could keep upgrading. And also very importantly, my skill is only currently 36. And so let's talk about the tools of the trade. The first tool that you'll need is a wheat hoe. And you'll see mine over here is not fully maxed up. It's, somewhere around midway there. It does have the Turbo Wheat 5 enchant. It has replenish so that it replants the crops automatically. And it does have a harvesting 5 to give you more farming fortune as you harvest. And cultivating 7, which I'm, slowly leveling up as we go. The counter on this is 1.5 million wheats collected. So once I get it up to 10 million, then it'll be going up in rarity. And in terms of special perks, it only has the logarithmic counter enabled. So if I right click it, you'll see that I haven't applied the tightly tied hay bale to it yet with the Jacob's ticket. So once I do, I would get the collection analysis. And in terms of reforges, I went with the much cheaper Peasants Reforge, which gives me +1 farming wisdom, which is just the 1% increase in XP. At some point, I'd like to add the Blessed Fruit Reforge to this, but so far it hasn't been a priority for me to do so. The second thing you need is somewhere to farm wheat. So I built the wheat farm over here in my island. It is a maximum size for the starter island, but as you can see, I've expanded the island ever since, but I haven't expanded the wheat farm yet. And the pattern that I did over here is very simple. It's all dirt everywhere, except I have the water blocks under these half slabs over here. So these are practical because you can actually walk on top of them. And if you have the rancher's boots, you're not going to trample the crops while you're doing that. So you can actually jump up and down and, do everything and you're not trampling your whole crops. So as we'll see in the demo, when I harvest, I just harvest 2 rows at a time with the hoe over here. And I just, keep switching around until I've harvested the whole thing. So the blocks are basically, I put one here, and then on the 9th block, I put another one here. And then on the 9th block in this direction, I put another one here. And that's how I have my water blocks put throughout here. And we have the lighting in the ceiling hidden over here, so it doesn't take up space. And if you see in the bottom here, this is the dirt block that is holding the water. So each of these extra dirt blocks over here, each have a water source on top of them, which is keeping the whole field hydrated. So I find this is a great setup that if you have this, just one floor is plenty of space. You probably won't even finish it off in the 20 minutes that you have. The next tool that you need is a pet. I went with the level 100 elephant. In the video clip where I show myself harvesting, the elephant wasn't quite that high yet, but this makes a huge difference. But I'd say without this, with my current setup, I'd probably be borderline where some events I would get gold, some not quite. If I got more XP and leveled up my farming skill more, definitely wouldn't need the elephant. And if you level up the hoe even higher than I have, again, you wouldn't need the elephant to get a gold medal. So wheat farming is definitely not a competitive field. There's plenty of directions you can grow to get even more. I'm sure that getting 150k is probably fairly easy to get, and wouldn't be surprised if you can push it even higher than that if you really tried really hard. But as we saw, that's definitely not necessary. So the next thing you need are the Ranger's Boots. And these ones, as you see, I put the current speed cap to 220. And basically you can use it to slow yourself down and get the perfect speed that you're looking for. And I found for wheat farming that 220, if you're farming roughly at a 45 or 135 degree angle, it's usually enough to harvest 2 rows at a time. You don't leave any crops behind, and you're going basically at the best speed to cover everything while not leaving too many things behind. So as you can see over here, sometimes as you start off, it takes a little bit of adjustment to get the angle right, because not only have the yaw, which is the left to right angle, but you also have the up and down and the distance and all that you have to adjust for. But as you can see at 220, it's pretty easy to cover everything without any issues and without missing too many. You see here in the beginning I kind of missed one, but I find as I start off it takes a little bit to get back into the proper alignment, but after I've done a couple of columns, then most of the time you can clear most of the field off pretty much completely. And that just goes down to practice. Some people, they're very meticulous at looking at the angles and making sure that everything is perfect and aligning themselves. I'd rather just go as quickly as I can, try to adjust myself as I go and get, more precise as I go along. And usually you'll be able to cover most of the field, and that's what you want. Because if you're missing a lot, so let's say instead of doing 2 all the time, that half the time you're only picking up 1 row at a time, and that's basically 50% slower that you're operating at compared to somebody that does a clean line as I'm doing for this part here. So as you practice, that's one part that you'll definitely get better at, and you'll be able to collect more wheat without any issues. The other tools that can definitely help, you have the large agronomy sack, and if I open mine up, you'll see that it can collect up to 20k seeds and likewise 20k of the wheat. So this really helps not fill up your inventory, especially for the seeds. So before I begin, I go to the bazaar, empty the seeds, and that way, by the time I'm done harvesting this whole thing, the seeds still haven't reached 20k, so you don't have any stoppers seeds-wise. And the other big thing that helps, you have the personal compactor. So right now I have it set to hay bale. So as I collect wheat, it will automatically convert it to hay bales. And that really helps to make sure that your inventory doesn't fill up. And you can also do it with the higher levels. So if you look at the collection for wheat, so you have the hay bale, but you also have the enchanted hay bale, and finally you have the tightly tied hay bale that you can all set up in your personal compactor. This is the 5000 version, which has 3 slots, and I have my 7000 over here that has even more slots. So you can see I have the enchanted hay bale over here and the regular hay bale in that one. So by having both of these either on meat or if you have them in your accessory bag, it works from either location just the same. Just you have to bring it back to your inventory if you want to make any changes to those. But basically with that, you can harvest the whole thing, and usually you won't run out of inventory space. At some point, I'll be increasing the size of this wheat, and I'll fill up the whole thing because I will be going for the 4 stacks of tightly tied hay bales, and I think it'll be a lot simpler if I have a full expanded wheat field. But if you're only going for gold, then the regular 161 by 161 field is plenty sufficient to achieve that goal. So that covers the guide on how to get a gold medal in wheat farming. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. In terms of next steps, I've unlocked the gold medals for 5 out of the 10 crops so far. So I'll be doing videos showing how to get gold medals in those. And I am doing some more prep work to get gold medals in the other ones. So for some of these, I have to upgrade the tools a little bit more. I have to upgrade the farming levels more too. Some of these, like the cocoa beans, are extremely competitive, and the cactus will cover that one in its own episode. Well, thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, share with a friend. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them in the comment box below. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.